alert there with the punt exclamation point, something from his stream as we were in game number 1. He's playing against Zoo, a deck that some people asked about at the beginning of the tournament, wondering if it was going to be good. And Adam is trying to do him a little dirty here with the old choke.
Not fighting fair.
Now, I do have a problem with Adam's choke. It's not the white bordered one.
Typically, I'm an advocate for the oldest black border cards. But if you're going to do someone dirty, like with a choke, you got to find the white border ones.
I agree with you. Now, Adam is playing a Naya Zoo deck here. It's going a little bit bigger. You know, you're not going to find a ton low to the ground stuff, but there's also copies of Collected Company here. So I think we're probably better off deeming this a Collected Company deck. There's a lot going on, though. There's also main deck copies of Blood Moon going on here. You're actually not going to find Wild Nikotl, which is strange.
This is more almost in the Brian Kibler school of Naya midrange. Collected Company, Naya the Reliquary, and I'm looking for Ghost Quarters here because Naya the Reliquary plus Ghost Quarter seems like that could be a game plan for this weekend. I haven't talked to Kibler. I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing something like that. Only one Ghost Quarter in the list, though.
Kenji with a Pestermite on the battlefield. Also with a Spellskite. Playing against a Choke and a copy of Voice of Resurgence and Open Mana. Pestermite's going to come into the red zone. We might have a Collected Company here, and we do. So, our first Collected Company of the day, we'll see if Egashira does have a counter spell, though it doesn't appear that he does in hand.
It's also just so taxing for Kenji to spend his mana interacting because of the choke in play.
Top 6, we'll see what joins. There's at least a Birds of Paradise in there. And again, this Zoo deck here from Sook, rather unorthodox. You know, he's not playing Wild Nikotl in his Naya deck. His creatures, Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarch, 3 Tarmogoyfs, 4 Goblin Rabble Masters, 4 Naya the Reliquary, 4 Voice of Resurgence, a Kosali Pride Mage, and an Aven Mind Sensor. But this is more of a metagame deck with 3 main deck copies of Blood Moon in it.
Yeah, this is and more of a good stuff strategy than one that's focused on, as you mentioned, no Wild Nikotl in the list, not really trying to beat down. There are some aggressive elements. There's Goblin Rabble Master, there's Tarmogoyf, but Adam's kind of up to his own thing.
There is a Rabble Master off a Collected Company. That's number 1. Clearly, Adam has some options here because that is why this Collected Company is taking a moment. Looks like there's a Spellskite in there. There's a Tarmogoyf. I've seen worse Collected Companies.
This is a good squad right here.
Yeah.
And Adam's board at this point is so overwhelming that it's hard to imagine that Kenji is able to win by any other way than comboing out.
Yeah. It seems like Kenji needs to draw a copy of Splinter Twin right now. And that is, of course, assuming that he still has him in the deck.
Yeah.
Because we are in game number 2, and we have talked with many players about, hey, do you like to leave Splinter Twin in? Do you like to board it out? People are going to be bringing in hate to beat it in sideboarded games. How does that affect your decision-making? A lot of players like to board it out.
Especially against Naya colors where, you're looking at Path to Exile, Rending Volley in the sideboard, enchantment removal. It's typically the colors where it's hard to execute the combo. And if Kenji's gone into just, I'm a blue-red control deck right now. Now, with Pastor Mice in the deck, it implies at least some of the combo is left over.
You would think so. You would think so. Looks like we'll be moving to Adam's attack step here, which means a Goblin will be coming in from Goblin Rabble Master. And now it's time to get the beatdowns on. Tarmogoyf is a 4-5 at this point. Voice of Resurgence, everybody's coming into the red zone.
This is a very fast clock on that side of the table.
This is no joke. Looks like Spellskite's going to do some blocking here, or at least attempt to. At this point, Rabble Master is a 3-power creature. You got the 1/1 Goblin. Tarmogoyf, as I mentioned, is a 4-5, and the Voice of Resurgence, just a boring old 2/2. Looks like Spellskite's going to jump in front of the Rabble Master. Some damage is going to come across here. Looks like 7 will come through. Kenji will get to keep the Spellskite. Rabble Master's not going anywhere. We'll see what the follow-up is here for Suk, assuming that he does have one. The follow-up looks to be a copy of Naya the Reliquary. So the shields feel kind of down.
Yep. I mean, again, the Splinter Twin, that can kill from a very low base. And if Kenji's got a land and a Splinter Twin, and Adam has no interaction, we're going to game 3.
Absolutely. That's how these twin decks do work. Looks like Stomping Ground's going to be the weapon of choice here.
Now, if Kenji goes for it and Adam has something like Rending Volley, something to break up the combo, that's it. You know, the choke is going to lock him out of this game, and Adam's clock is very fast.
Yeah, and you know, at this point, if you're Kenji, I think you're just saying to yourself, I can't beat Rending Volley anyway.
No, you're not playing around anything.
Yep.
This game's not getting any better for you.
So none of that stuff matters. Take a draw. Pick up a copy of Tectonic Edge. Deceiver Exarch in hand here for Egashira. So that can slow down Sook a turn. But Sook has got a really big board here. This Naya Company deck, it hits pretty hard. There's an island.
But even with an Exarch in hand, it's pretty tough for this to not kill over the course of the next 2 turns on Adam's side.
Yeah, here is Deceiver Exarch. It's going to untap an island. Take that choke. Pass the turn back. And there is a copy of Rending Volley. So he had that all along. U.S. Splitters when it was going to show up to the party.
And during Adam's Collected Company, I was surprised he didn't take a Spell Sky because that seems so potent in that spot to prevent the Splinter Twin combo. But if he had a Rending Volley, this makes a lot more sense to get as much pressure in play as possible.
Man, 2 copies of Rending Volley in the sideboard here for Sook this weekend. Also 2 copies of Choke in the sideboard. And those have certainly come to play. Again, we talk about the power of the sideboard cards in Modern. You draw those cards, they are all quite good. You see what Choke is doing to Egashira's mana, and then Rending Volley is, of course, a premium removal spell against Twin.
And some of these hate cards that you see from the earlier sets, the 8th editions, the 9th editions, they are punishing on the fetch land, dual land mana base. And it is an argument sometimes to have more copies of things like Sulphur Falls or what have you in your list. Because Choke, Boil, Sanctimony, there's some splash damage with that, with those mana bases.
Everybody's coming to the red zone. Egashira with just a Tectonic Edge in hand. Is there any way for him to stay alive here? It does not appear to be the case. Adam Sook is going to win this match here over Kenji Egashira. Naya Company is going to lead things off with a win here over Blue-Red Twin. A tough start here for the Seattle player and streamer.
Yep. Pretty cool deck on Adam's side of the table there.
Yeah.
Normally when we see Collected Company, it's in a deck that at least has the potential to combo out. But Adam just playing it for value and a lot of very high impact plays there. Tarmogoyf, Goblin Realm Master, and of course Knight of the Reliquary, which a lot of people were pointing to this weekend as possibly being a card that you would see an uptick in. Knight of the Reliquary plus Ghost Quarter, very potent against Tron, potentially very good against Amulet as well.
And you can get that online as soon as turn number 3. Turn 1, Mana Accelerant, turn 2, Knight, turn 3. Start Ghost Quartering, and of course, Knight turns into a big threat then, too.
Now, Adam is not really going all in on that. He has 1 Ghost Quarter in his main deck. He has 1 copy in his sideboard. So it's a package he has access to if the matchup's appropriate, but he's not trying to play 4 Ghost Quarters in his main to make that his primary game plan. But cool stuff. The Collected Company is definitely shaking up Modern quite a bit because there's just a lot of quality creatures.